Hello friends, my name is Apoorv Sharma and I'm a student at National Institute of Industrial Engineering. I'm a part of the 2012-14 management batch for the course of postgraduate diploma in industrial management. This video is regarding one of our subjects that we have studied here. It's called Principles of Management. We call it POM for short, as you would imagine the name is too long. Anyways, it is taught by one of our esteemed professors. His name is Dr. Prasad. He's taken many initiatives in other fields too. Coming back to the course, the one thing that I liked about this course was the entire course was structured and we learned entire course based only on three things which I would like to speak about in this video. The first thing that I would like to speak about is an exercise. All three were the exercises and we got to derive the learnings out of those exercises. The first thing that I would like to speak about is our creative problem solving. How the exercise began was we were taken to a patio outside the teachers coffee area. There was a toy hanging. I would like to show you the picture. There was a toy hanging from there. There were two rings, and we were asked to identify what the problem was. Now, this is the first learning that we got that day. It's not only important to solve the problems, but it is important to know what the problems are, because most of the time that's what the difficulty is. Once you know what the problem is, it becomes really easy to figure out the solution. But that's the part you have to get right, the problem. Okay, so we were asked to identify what the problem was, and smart people that we are, we did identify the problem. One of us suggested that we need to take the ring out of the arrangement. So a lot of ways were tried. Some people tried that day, some people tried the next day, still some people tried a week later, but a lot of us were able to solve the problem. And in the next class, next week, we had a discussion about it. So the discussion basically focused on the same thing. What is more important, solving the problem or knowing what the problem is? Of course, one can't be important than the other, because both the things are important. So instead, it was suggested that there is an order to things. First comes knowing what the problem is, and the second comes actually solving the problem. As budding managers, we would be solving quite a bit of problems later in our lives, but identifying the problems, that's what takes actual intelligence. So that was the learning that we got from that exercises. It was mentioned quite a bit of times in our future classes too. The second exercise that I would like to talk about was the valley crossing. Now, this exercise, I don't know, I must have heard it about let's say 100 times during the course, and every single learning that we got was indirectly or directly related to this exercise. What happened is there are three people, they're trying to cross a valley, and it's a valley, so they can't just jump across, I'm sorry. So what happened, it was shown that three people, they were holding a log which was connecting all of them on their shoulders, and then they started walking. As soon as one person got over the valley, the other two bore his weight, and they crossed over. He crossed over. The second person, when he came over the valley, the people on the end bore his weight, he crossed over, and finally the third person's weight was borne by the two people who had already crossed over the valley. So this way all three of them crossed the valley. Now, there are a lot of things that can be learned from this. First thing, there was an effect that was taught to us. It was known as Hawthorne effect. It basically told how motivation, care and attention from the employers motivates the employees. There were quite a bit of experiments back in the day, and this was what the conclusion was. Employees don't actually need tangible benefits. They do, of course, they need their salary at the end of the month, but equally well, they need the feeling that somebody is caring for them, somebody is attending to them, somebody knows that they do exist. Nowadays there are various companies where IT, for example, there are a lot of people just coding away. They feel many of my friends are in IT, they feel that they don't get that much attention. So Hawthorne effect, when applied to this tower, actually tower building taught us the Hawthorne effect. Companies could have asked them to just jump across the valley, right? Risk, no safety, a lot of other things. What they did, provide them with a log of wood. Okay, just work your way across. We are watching you, and we will take care of you. So that was the first thing. The second thing from that valley crossing exercise was how the jobs should be selected. Now, as one would realize, the person who's right at the front of the line, he's doing something new. He hasn't crossed the valley before, and not exactly in that particular fashion. So he's doing something new, right? So what happens? That person needs to be someone who has experiences, who has past experiences of doing such things. Who that person that when you select that particular person for that particular job, he should be capable of doing that. So that now comes to talent acquisition, talent hunt. How you select the people on the job, how you position the people. There are three people crossing the valley, right? So can you just call anyone and ask him to stand at any position? No, you can't. So what happens? The front person has to be the innovative one. The middle and the last person have to be good followers, have to be able to suggest ways for improvement. We need both type of people. We need people who can innovate, and we need people who can improve on that. Without any of them, we are stuck. It is a dead world. So that job selection was the second thing that we learned. The third exercise that I would like to talk about, that was taught to us, was the tower building exercise. One day Dr. Mandi walks, that's what we call Dr. Prasad, Dr. Mandi, because of his initiative. He walks in the class carrying small wooden blocks around 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch. So we thought that's a kid's play. But then he just asked us, okay, what do you think, how much height of the tower can you build with these blocks? People said 20, 30, 35. So then we actually built them. He asked for volunteers. We built the towers. People went up to 25. People collapsed on 18. So he asked us to write what we think how the height of the tower would be before, and what we think and what actually happened after. From there he derived the concept of goal setting. Now you can set the goals. You know your employees. You have certain expectations from your employees. So you set the goals. Okay, this let's say this year this month will have sales of 1 crore. So you'll base that assumption on capabilities of your employees, of course, on the past history as well, past data as well, but also on the experience of the employees, of your experience with the employees. So that is one thing. But what actual learning was, generally what happens when people see that exercise happened in two parts. One was we just built the tower. The second was the tower was being built blindfolded. So when the blindfold came on, the people reduced. There were some people who reduced their expectations. Some increased. Some kept at the same level. So the learning that we got was that it is important not to be dogged by any barrier that is coming, but be very sure about the abilities that you as a leader and your employees as followers have. So that was the learning that we got from there, that what kind of goals can you achieve, how you decide how you achieve the goals, what goals to set. Some goals, they are attainable, that you can attain them. Some goals are impossible, which you think are impossible. So that's what you should aim for. So we were told in tower building, the impossible goal would be build a tower from the table to the ceiling. So if you try to do that, and now this our parents have been telling this from since a long time. We never paid attention, who does? So if you aim for 100, you might get to 50. So the important part is aim for 100. Human beings have unlimited potential. Everybody knows that. So anyways, these were the three exercises on which our entire POM course was dedicated. We were asked to write blogs. I had a previous blog. I have my own blog. So, but there are a lot of people who wrote for the first time. They enjoyed it, and we can see their efforts. I'm sure they will keep posting more of them. So this entire course has a good effect on me. Has had a good effect on me. I have learned things which I subconsciously knew, and I've learned new things too. So I thank Dr. Mandi to be able to provoke our thoughts in a manner which would be beneficial to us, I'm sure. Thank you.